Hello and welcome. We are doing back to back, ready to love reality checks. You guys, this is your girl, Crystal Jordan. I'm so excited to have you here. We had a great conversation with the beautiful Miss Z just a minute ago. And of course, like I said, we're going back to back. We have Dre here. We've had a lot of conversation about Dre over the last two interviews. So we finally have the man himself in the building. So let me bring Dre on. Hey,
Oh, what's going on? What's going on, Crystal? How you doing?
I'm
So some
good.
good conversation.
Yeah, they were good conversations,
My
especially
ears
the last.
burning.
Yeah, no, especially the last one. Z said some very nice things about you. So yeah, good
Shout out to
conversation.
Z. She's the homie. She's good people. I like Z.
Yeah,
Good,
she said.
good person.
Actually, I'm just going to start this out by telling you. I asked her if she felt like during the elimination when they put Blake and yourself in the bottom, if the right decision was made to let you go and to keep Blake, and she said that was the wrong decision.
Mm,
Wrong
mm,
decision. She said that
that's
you guys had,
crazy.
yeah, she said you guys had great conversation and she wished you stayed longer. Were
And
you,
yeah, I like Z.
yeah, were you surprised that you were in the bottom on the first day?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was surprised. I was shocked because I was like, oh man, like, because when Tommy called both our names, first he called Blake, and then I was just like, all right, I'm good. And then he said Dre. I was like, oh no, like so I came up there and it was like a long, you know, silence, like, because we're shooting. So it's just
Yeah.
like I'm looking in his eye, like I'm looking in another man's eyes. I don't normally do that. So I was like, this is weird. And then Ben, he was like, Blake. And when he said Blake, I was like, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm straight. And when he's like, get it together, get it right, get it,
Yeah.
better. And I was like, oh, come on, Tommy, that we boys, cuz. So then when he was just like, Dre, and I was just like, oh man, I was shocked. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I was
Yeah.
surprised that I was trying to last at least 2 episodes, but
Well, you know what? I got this clip that you just described. So for anyone that didn't see what Dre just very, very clearly mapped out for us, this is that scene. So I'm going to play this and then let's talk a little bit more about that night.
I was worried as I looked around and I was like, I didn't make enough rounds. And I think that was everyone's fear. It was a come to reality moment.
We're going to start with the fellas. Blake and Dre, please step forward.
Oh snap, we on the chopping block. Tommy, bud, I thought we was boys. You work in radio. Don't break up the group, man.
Now, let me be honest with you. This was close, man. I mean, down to the wire.
The nerves start going. It was all fun and games up until that point, but someone had to go home, and I hope it's not me.
Blake and Dre. Unfortunately, the women didn't feel that you guys were really sparking any romance connections. But, Blake, they feel like you still got some promise. So make sure you step it up moving forward. Back in line.
It was real, guys.
Sadly, Dre, this means your journey ends with us here.
It's all good.
We wish you all the best. You can say your goodbyes.
Guys. I'm about to go home, y'all. I thought the women were vibing your boy. I'm pretty handsome, It's premeditation right here. But it's part of the journey. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm definitely glad that I took this chance. There's somebody out there for me, so just gotta find them. Oh, thank God.
Now, ladies, you're up.
All right. You got Tommy good. You got Tommy good. Yes, you guys, please hit that like button for Dre. First of all, I always appreciate when people leave with like a good attitude. Like we know that eventually everybody's gonna go.
yeah.
It's like so, but I thought that you were a really good sport. And we're honest. You said you thought the ladies were feeling you a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, Crystal, I was just being myself. Like I went into this whole experience with zero expectations.
Okay.
So it's just, you got to, chop it up to the experience and just to go in there and vibe. And, if I was to connect with somebody, then I'd be like, okay, this is cool. We'll just see where it's going. But my expectations weren't like super high going in, like, oh, I need to find my one. I just going for the experience. And it was great. The whole cast, good peoples, all the guys, the girls, everybody was really nice. So, as well as the producers and everybody that worked on the show. So
yeah,
it was a good time being on the set. And like I said, like the girls, like I said, I made them, laugh, and I'm just being myself. I'm just the whole time just being me.
Yeah.
And this is who I am. So that's what I was going into it as being myself 100%.
Yeah, I think you should. Well, that's what you should always do. Now, when I was looking at the cast, and we had you scheduled for yesterday, and so I was doing a little bit of research. I was like, because I was sad when you went, because I was like, I like him. He seems like a fun person. But then when I did a little digging, I was like, Dre don't need to meet no women. Dre is a whole radio personality.
You know what I'm saying?
Already in the mix. He meeting women out. Dre, you obviously meet a lot of women. You have a very social job.
You're right.
Your job is social, and then you also, are an artist on the side. So meeting women is probably the least of your problems.
Exactly. So I mean, it's really wasn't an issue. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't lose no sleep over this. So it was just like, like I said before, the experience. Yeah. So, and I can.
Let me ask you that though. What do you mean the experience? Were you? Because of course I have to ask you, with you being a radio personality and an artist, was this an opportunity to really just get some additional exposure, or are you really at a place in your life where you are looking for the one?
I mean, I feel like it would have been nice to connect with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I went to it with zero expectation, and this whole process was obviously for everybody's brand was really, really good, really dope. You know what I'm saying? And I just went along like, cause I didn't go out and like audition and do anything, send anything, submit anything. Like I got hit up about this opportunity. Okay. And I just went along with the prompts. Just next phone call, next Zoom call, next casting meeting, I just went up the ladder, and got onto the show. So it wasn't like, oh, I need to get on, submit. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk, Krista, I never really even heard of the show until like they told me about the show.
Oh, wow.
Okay. You know what I'm saying?
You never talked about it on the radio? You never had you never heard a conversation that had happened on Ready to Love?
No, I think I've seen like commercials before briefly, but it wasn't like, but when they told me about it, then I was just like, oh, I think I know what this show is. I kind of knew what it was a little bit, but I just went, like I said, I just went into everything like, all right, I did this call. Now I'm going this one. Okay. I'm in the top, the execs like me. That's just, okay, cool. And then here we are, so it's definitely good for the brand, just that opportunity to be on like a major network like this and just work with, the producers and people on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys keep those questions. Let's keep the chat going. Keep questions. If you have questions for Dre that you would like me to ask, because like I said, we've had 2 conversations so far. We talked to Natasha and we just talked to Z, but obviously that was the first episode. We got a chance to get to know you a little bit. So that's why I think these interviews are great, because we get a chance to kind of learn a little bit more that we didn't get a chance to see on the show. So I want to ask you, just like having the job that you do, what is your process when it comes to dating? Because I just know from being in the entertainment industry, a lot of times people are attracted to people in the industry because, okay, if I go out with Dre, I'm probably going to get concert tickets. I get to do the stuff the radio is doing. I get to be around, the who's who in Miami. So what is your process when trying to kind of vet people and make sure that girls that you go out with are actually there for you as opposed to what you have going on? Uh-oh. Dre? Okay. Can you hear me? Your sound is, I can't hear, we can't hear you. You guys, let me know if you can hear me. And then for some reason I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Let me know, put an X and an O in the chat if you're able to hear me. I feel like for some reason it says your sound is on, but we can't hear you. Okay, so you guys do hear me. Hey, Mwadi. Dre, can you hear me? Dre, do you hear me? Nod yes if you can hear me. We cannot hear you. You can hear me. Okay. So you may need to go out and come right back in because let me see. Okay, you can hear me. Go out and come back in because the volume is off. We can see you fine, but we just can't hear you. And you guys let me know. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Wendy, Druzy, TB, KC, Irie, Goddess. Thank you guys for joining back to back. I know it's late on a Tuesday, but this is good conversation. I like Dre. He seems likable and like a lot of fun. We're going to have a good conversation. So hopefully he can come right back in and we could get to it. But if you have questions that you want me to ask him, go ahead and put those in the chat. And we got Dre back. We still can't hear you. Is your sound on? That's so weird. Okay, now unmute mic. I don't know. We could hear you fine just a minute ago. Still cannot hear you. Are you using Chrome? I mean, we could hear you a minute ago, so that shouldn't have been a problem. I have no idea. Let me try to take you out and bring you right back in. Because it's saying that your sound should be on. Well, now we can't even see you. Add to stream. This is crazy. This is crazy. Thank you for that question, Ira. You guys keep him going. We're going to get his sound. We're going to get his sound right in just a minute. I'm not sure what is happening. Let's see. Is his computer on mute? Your computer. Yeah, maybe, but make sure that because I think something happened. I don't know if if something came in or something because your computer like froze for a second and then when you came back, I couldn't hear you. So maybe if you restart, it'll work itself out. But if you're clear that nothing is on mute, then we should be good. But it's saying that you're not on mute. I'm not sure what. It has to be something with your computer. Yeah, because I'm on my end, you're not muted. See if you can restart and come back in. We will definitely wait on you, you guys. We'll just come up with more and more questions to ask you when you come back. So you will feel like you're speed dating. We'll just ask you a bunch of questions when you come back. Let's see. Okay. Okay, you guys stand with me, stay with me, stay with me. So yes, I mentioned last episode with Z that yesterday on Instagram, Swayze announced that he was single. He also alluded to there was something that happened that caused him to he said that Ready to Love should check and get background checks on people. And he mentioned that he had a picture with his daughter and showing the two of them walking together. And I just want to ask before we get Dre back, was anybody surprised? Who was surprised to know that Kadian and Swayze have broken up? If you were surprised, please put that in the chat and let me know. We're coming right back. If you guys are just joining, we're coming right back with Dre. He had some computer issues, but he is going to log out and log right back in. So we have Dre here. We're having a good conversation with him. But I want to know what you guys think. Were you surprised to see that Swayze and Kadian have broken up? The two of them were doing a lot of posting on their Instagrams. They were constantly doing reels, showing them on vacation. I'm going to say, guys, couples today, especially like Instagram couples, do more trips. I have never seen people take as many trips as social media has people taking now. Everyone is saying, Pamela says, nope, no one. Wendy says, nope, Mawadi, I'm not surprised. I was rooting for them. I was rooting for them, but I think deep down my intuition that we talked about was like, not gonna happen. And I think if you can't get along on the show, chances are you're not going to be able to get along outside the show. But yeah, I think, everybody is on trips, and I just don't think that that's real life. I think when people are doing that, I'm not saying that some people may be doing it, this is just Crystal's opinion, but when you're taking you're constantly trying to show us something. It's like, what are you guys doing when you're not trying to show us something? Like, what are you doing when it's just the two of you guys? It's just ready. Casey says ready to travel. That's what it is. It's like, and I also think a lot of couples are, and if you guys watch my interview with Carlos King, I said, Carlos has done it, putting Joy and Clifton on the show on Love and Marriage DC, because now every Ready to Love couple is going to be trying to stay together so they can get on a TV show and, get to that next level as a power couple and all that. It is going to be a lot, but that's always a red flag to me when we see y'all on online too much. Like, it's just overkill. Like, every day you guys are going to an exotic location. Like, that's just not how real life works. But I thought, if they can make it work, that would be great. I think Swayze is a really good guy. I think that, I just don't think they were equally matched. I don't think they were equally matched. I think Kadian is a firecracker and probably just needed a different type of man. And I think he needs a different type of woman, but I wish the both of them well. There were some other couples. You guys, how do you guys feel about Mike and Brandy? Mike and Brandy are still together as of now. And I think that they genuinely liked each other. At some points, I wasn't sure about Swayze and Kadian. At some points during the show, I was like, they obviously have physical chemistry, but I don't know if they actually were like really emotionally connected. I really feel like Brandy and Mike like each other a lot. So I was always a little bit more convinced that they could possibly be a match, but it's still very early. It's still very early. It's still very early. I will wait to see at least until this Miami reunion to say if I think they actually have a chance. Because we've seen some couples go a fairly decent amount of time and still end up, not making it. I think there's a certain amount of time that people are going to try to stay together just so that they don't look crazy, right? Because they're like, oh, we were already together on the show. Let's keep the lie going, right? Let's keep it going so that we get attention from people. But after a while, you're not able to sustain that if it's not real. So we are waiting for Dre to log out and restart his computer and come back. I think that I like the fact that Dre has been honest about the fact that this was not like an end all be all. He is a rapper and also a radio personality. So obviously his brand is probably taking the forefront right now in what he's doing. But I like the fact that he was honest about that. And he obviously is just a personable guy. Anybody that's a radio personality, especially in a city like Miami, is just a really personable guy. So I think that him leaving, he'll be okay. He'll be just fine. I'm trying to make sure he has not sent me a message, making sure that he is able to get back on. All right, we got him back.
What about now?
Yes.
You got me?
We can hear you. We can
Cool.
hear you. All right. We got Dre back. So
I'm back.
yes.
It was weird. I don't know what's going on. It's crazy.
That is weird. But you know what? Any little thing, if you get like a message or an alert, a lot of times it'll shut the sound off. So
weird.
It's cool. Thank you so much, Artina, all the way from Toronto, Canada. If you guys have questions for Dre that you want me to ask, go ahead and put those in the chat. We are talking about, I was asking you before.
Yeah, I mean your question about
yes. How do you vet?
And how do I maneuver in between that vet out all that stuff. Well, Crystal, a lot of people, they hit me up too, just for like, I want tickets, or can I go somewhere?
Yeah.
Hook it up.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I don't really know how genuine they are
Mhm.
when it goes into that, when it's that process. So it's kind of hard to, like, see who's really like there for me. So when I meet a girl, it's like, I and she's feeling me, then I know it's just not for like what I do. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
if I'm going out to these events and stuff like that, I meet a lot of women. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a very social person. So, but then again, if I'm like involved with somebody, I kind of like to keep it private. I
Mhm.
don't like to, post it all on like social media.
Mhm.
But the last relationship that I was in, the girl, she was that, like, oh, you great. I post, you don't post about. It's just like who I was. I was
Okay.
business in the open, and
Okay.
so when I understands what I do, I I, I like that because she knows what I do. This is work that comes with it.
Okay. I think we're having
Oh,
your
yeah.
and the internet is your connection is kind
Can
of
you hear
spotty.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but your connection is you're kind of going in.
What's up, guys?
Okay. Okay. All right. We got you back. The connection, I think, is what the problem is. It's like
Reconnecting.
it's going in and out. Can you hear me? Ah, oh, that sucks. That sucks because I feel like
Can you hear
he would
me?
have. Yes, I can hear you. I think it's the connection.
Matrix,
Kind of going
guys.
out.
Can
Can
you hear me?
you? Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Okay.
I
I
can
feel
hear
like
you.
that phone commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
I can
now?
hear you.
Okay. So in that same line, Dre, what
I know.
what what are you attracted to? Like what types of women are you attracted to? Now, before you answer that, I'm going to play this clip because
Oh,
obviously this is obviously what you're attracted to, but I want you to speak to this after we watch this clip of you and one of the beautiful ladies on Ready to Love.
Steps. You know what I'm saying? How you guys doing? I'm good.
Just don't fumble.
Nah, girl, I ain't never fumbled.
You gonna?
Yeah, okay.
I never
All
fumbled.
right.
When I see Marcia, ooh, oh my God. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to be a pervert, nasty, but I think we would make pretty nice babies.
So how's dating been?
I've gone on a few dates off of one of the apps, but like nothing that was like, oh man.
No depth, right?
Yeah.
So it's better in person.
Yeah. I don't really, do you normally like kiss on the first date? Like, what is that?
It's a
Kiss?
vibe thing. I can't say hard yeses or nos, but I don't like aggressive like kisses.
Yeah,
like
like
you
I
know
lean in
somebody-
like,
back up,
you know what I'm saying?
back
Like you kiss their earlobe or something like that. Boop.
Do you do the whole like touch the lower back thing?
Sometimes.
No, why y'all do that? I think y'all be looking for panty lines.
Well, that too.
My least connection would have to be Dre. He's funny, he's cool, but short, slender guys, I just haven't been naturally attracted to them. I don't feel any romance there.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So
yeah, Marcia.
so obviously you were very, very attracted to Marcia. Could you tell that she wasn't really picking up what you were putting down?
I mean, yeah, but it's crazy because, like, Marcia's cool. Like, she's a great girl. I love the fact that she designs her own gear, and, we were just having a conversation, so it's just, if she laughing, making her laugh, having a cool conversation, and she vibe me, if she don't vibe me, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like in that instance, that day, it's like speed dating on crack. So you just, a million conversations in one, trying to get everything out about you as quick as you can. So it's like, I'm just going with the flow, talking with her and just, laughing and just seeing what she's about. I'm not just, tell me about your past relationships, this and that, trying to, we just cooling, so I mean,
Having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Z said that Blake asked her questions that were on the questionnaire that you guys had. Like it was just like a rapid fire interview. So I think you did a better job.
The questionnaire.
She said he asked a question that was on the questionnaire. So she was like, okay.
I didn't get that for him. I didn't get that.
Is there anybody else that you were very physically attracted to? Because that's really all you guys had a chance to focus on the first day.
Well, like I said, the editing is crazy, Crystal.
Okay.
So I vibe. Me personally, I was vibing Corvea.
Okay.
I like Z style as well. And then now that I look at it, Mercedes was dope. I wish I would have spent more time talking to Mercedes than what I did. But I really like when I saw Corvea, that was when I was just like, boom, bang, oh, okay. You know, she's right, you know, and that's kind of like up my style, you know. So she was probably like one of my top choices.
Okay. So you said you wish you would have talked to Mercedes. Anything else that you wish? Because I'm sure looking back on it, it was I think I heard a 15-hour day. And a lot happening. Is there anything else you would have done differently? Because I'll be honest with you, Dre. Some of the ladies in the chat on the first night we were talking with Natasha were saying, well, you know, he was dressed kind of young. He seemed a little younger. And that's been an issue on Ready to Love a lot of seasons. Like, you know, women feeling like men weren't necessarily on the same maturity level. So is there anything that you would have done different from what you maybe put on or who you talked to? Anything else besides talking more to Mercedes?
I feel like absolutely not. I mean, because it's just like who I am. This is me. Yeah. So I'm not gonna like change or do something different to change like who I am. Like just being myself. And I've seen some of like the comments and you know one of the posts that this one blog on Instagram she posted got like the most comments about just like that first episode and me, like over 350 comments. And she was the girl that runs the page was like, oh, I was sad to see him leave. I wish Dre didn't leave. And I felt like this is just my style. Like I don't be dressing like that. Like when you watch Ready to Love, when I first saw like the first episode, like the Potomac one, I watched it. I already knew, oh, this is the typical like the way the guys dress and the women dress. It's kind of like sorority girl type vibe or frat, you know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? AKAs and the way the black folk they dress. Like I don't be wearing the blazers, slacks, the tight slacks with the loafers on and no socks.
No socks.
That's not me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the way I dress is like a reflection of who I am. Yeah. Like with what I do. You know what I'm saying? As far as in the radio, music, like this is just me. Yeah. And that's just how I am. Because there were some comments I saw girls, oh, he acting immature. He acting childish and not taking himself serious. I'm like, well, I don't take myself serious. You shouldn't either. So what's the point? You know, like why you take yourself serious? You know what I'm saying? Like why you take yourself serious? I don't even take myself serious. Yeah. You know yeah. So that's just what I saw.
No, I like that. And I agree with that. I think everybody is different. And I think, especially when I saw that you were in radio, I was like, oh, I totally get it. That's just, that's the culture of the music industry, especially is like, you know, it's more relaxed. You don't have to wear a suit every day. You don't have to do any of that. You can be yourself. You don't have to, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I remember just a quick, funny story for the chat. When I first moved to Atlanta and I was a music publicist, entertainment publicist for years. But I came from corporate. And so I was working on Sierra's video shoot. And I remember I didn't have any casual clothes because I worked for corporate PR firm. So I came in like my little Banana Republic suit. And the lady that was over the PR agency, she was like, where are you going? We're going to a video shoot. You need to go home and change. So I went home, actually went to the mall, got some apple bottom jeans. That's how long ago that was. And some boots and came back and was like, okay, this is like this is a different experience, right? So I totally get the industry. Nobody's coming with the blazers and
I had to actually cop a blazer for the reunion. When we shot the reunion, I had to go out and get one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a few of the button downs, but it's just so funny because like I said, I don't own like no loafers like that. Like, and they're like, why do you have skateboard shoes on? I'm like, these are Vans. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? these are known sneakers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
it's funny
Yeah,
seeing some of the comments.
Yeah, but I think that's what makes it is cool is that, there's different personalities. What's one of the things I told Z I liked about her is that she obviously was dressing very much. She was very unique and like an individual in the way she dressed, like the cowboy boots and the shorts. And like, it was totally, usually we know we're going to see girls in very sexy dresses with like
Right.
spillage.
Exactly.
Stuff.
Exactly. And I love Z's style and her hair and everything.
Yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
this. She had the freckles and I love Z's style. So it's dope.
Yeah.
And
Well,
people say to me too on the comments, what's up with his hair? Like, what are you talking about? Like, like what?
Tell them get with it. You tell them get with it.
You know, you gotta get with it. This is me, cuz. You gotta get with it.
Well, I will say before we keep going, because I want to ask you some more questions about your relationship background. Just know, just putting something out there. Z did say that she wished she had more time with you. She said she understands the season has to continue and everything. She didn't want to say, but she did mention it. So maybe that you guys could revisit.
Yeah, I wish I would have talked to Z a little more. Like Z, like I said, Z was cool.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So we had a lot of the same common interest as far as like film, movie, entertainment, movies and all that stuff. So I definitely wish I would have got to spend more time to talk to her as well. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about how. So I asked you a question earlier just about because I know that's got to be challenging, just kind of navigating, and then not probably dating people in the business around can be kind of weird also. But talk to us about like your last relationships and what you found has worked for you and what doesn't work for you.
Oh man, Crystal. So last relationship. So it was actually a long distance relationship.
Really?
Yeah. So I did the long distance thing for like 3 years.
Wow.
And it was like within Florida.
Okay.
So it was like about like an 8-hour drive. It was further up North Florida. She lived up in like Tallahassee area.
That's 8 hours. You're gonna have to get a plane for that. We're gonna have
yeah. So her parents live like around Orlando area. So she would come there and then she would come down here to see me. Okay. So we dated for about, like I said, 3 years. And, obviously what happened was like the issue was she wasn't happy, I guess, towards like the end. And this is like, when I say the end of me, it was like of talking with her was like 2020.
Okay.
So going into 2020. So it was like January 2020. And I remember that was like the last time I spoke to her because she didn't return a text. And like, she was the type of girl, like, if I didn't text her that day, all day first, she wouldn't text me.
Yeah.
I was always hitting her, like FaceTiming her. So it didn't, that was just her whole thing. And she was like on that, with Instagram, social media, drama stuff. Like I'd be on my phone and she's like, why are you on your phone? And why are you looking at your phone and this and that? And like, you're looking at people on your story. They're not your friends, stuff like that.
What was her industry?
She was actually, she was a business owner. She owned Plato's Closet. She was a manager / part owner of the Plato's Closet franchise.
So that's very different. That's very different.
Yeah, like me, like we would go out, we go eat the waiter, waitress, hey, how you doing? What do you suggest I get? I'm wild. Like I go out, be at the register talking to people, it don't matter.
Right.
So it was kind of like that. And then just like issues on that. And she wanted me to be more like attentive to her. You know what I'm saying? But like after I realized it, like, she was a great girl.
Yeah.
It was just, but then all the time it seemed like it was like drama when she would come into town. Like we go to an event or something, be some kind of drama, and like she come into town, I kind of clear my schedule, but then I have something come up with work and she had to come with me and she'd be like, how come you can't just say no? And I'm just like, that's money, girl. That's coin. I'm trying to get, this cheese.
And so being a personality, you can't really do that. Now I got to ask you a real question, Dre, because 3 years long distance is a long time. Were you able to be faithful during a 3 month long? And you can be honest with us. This is a safe space, Dre. So
This is great space. Let's just hope this don't get leaked out and she see this. If it
it's
get
over
leaked
now.
out, then you know what I'm saying? I gotta cut this portion of the interview.
It's a learning lesson, though. It's a
Yes.
because, and this is why I'm asking. This is why I'm asking, because I think that when people, sign up to date, you could really like the person. I didn't know if you guys were long distance from the jump, but
No,
sometimes,
we weren't for the jump. She
okay,
lived here for a little bit.
okay,
Met her, then like maybe 2 months later, 3 months, she went over there.
okay. So that's what I'm saying. So it might have seemed like, okay, I like this person so much, I care about them, I don't want to lose them, and then you get that 8 hour distance, and it's like, this is harder than I had thought it would be. So
Yeah. So to be honest with you, Crystal, so like I like my space. And that's just dealing with anybody. If I'm dating, whatever, I like having my space, being able to come and go as I please, but then still like when it's time for you and I, we get together, hang out, I'm making time for you. And like you said, with the long distance, people say it doesn't work, doesn't last. So yeah, I'll be honest, like I was going out. I would go out with other females and stuff like that, hang out and stuff.
Yeah.
And do that, be out. And then when she come in town, it's like, our time. But I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I wasn't just sitting at home twiddling my thumbs like,
yeah, that's
okay.
rough.
You know what I'm saying? So I was out. I'm a social person. I went out.
Right. So would you get into a long distance relationship? I guess, what did that relationship teach you? Like, what did you learn? Because what I was saying is, a lot of times when you think you can do something and you get in it, it's like, oh, wait a minute, now I know that's not for me.
Well,
So,
I mean,
I had relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I had no problem with the relationship doing it. It's just, and to be honest with you, this was like the first, like, she was like the first like girl that I dated for a long time, because I would normally like, I guess, date or see girls, and it wouldn't be longer than 6 months, 3 months. Like I see a girl, we hanging out, we vibing, couple months, couple weeks, and then kind of fizzles out, or she kind of lose touch with each other. Then I mean another girl, and we going out, hanging out. So like to like be dating her for that long was like the first time. Like
okay. So that was your first real adult.
Yeah, because I never, like we went out, like we went to trips and stuff like that together, and she has a daughter that's the same age as my niece. So I met her daughter, stuff like that. And like, I had no problem with the long distance thing, because we talk like almost every day, like texting or phone, FaceTiming. So, like I said, I was cool with it, because I like, in the end, I like having my space. And she talked about 1 year wanting to come back here to live, to move back. And I was like, yeah. When I said, I was like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, do that. And then she was like, oh, your response wasn't like, it wasn't the response that she wanted. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, I'm not going to be all like up on you 24/7. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I get it. But then deep down, she probably would have been all 24/7.
Yeah, it sounds like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you are not in a space. Like, if you like your space, then marriage isn't necessarily something I'm focused on right now. Right now, I just want to get to know people, have a good time. That's where I'm at. So
exactly. And like I said, like I had no problem doing the long distance thing. It's just like, she was a great girl, but then like we would just have like so much like drama stuff, and like and she couldn't. I'd be like, oh man, craziness, and like, and I guess it just depends on like the person. If I was to do it again, I mean, I probably would do it again, but it just has to be like, I guess, on the person.
Yeah,
and like,
and maybe where you are in life. Maybe also where
you
are in life.
Yeah. And how old am I? Well, it said it on the thing. Did you not see it on the thing?
Well, first of all, and to my defense, a lot of times the age they have on OWN is not the age that is real. And I've said ages before, and they're like, I'm not that old, or I'm not that young. So the chat is saying they think that you're like 38 to 30, between 38 and 39. You don't seem that at 38. So I don't know how to do that because I hate when people ask for their age.
You can just give a number if you want, Crystal.
No,
Oh,
no, because it's not even really the number; it's where you are in life, right?
You're
So
right. You're right. You're right.
a person can be like 35, but be like ready for marriage, and a person can be like 50 and not. So it just
Right. Well, I'm definitely not 50.
we know
Okay.
that we know we
You
know that.
know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're in my 30s. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that's nothing wrong with that. Hell, that's a good thing, Dre.
Yeah, no. Hey, I appreciate you, Chris, and I appreciate the chat. You know what I'm saying? Put that all in the chat right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, youth is a beautiful thing, or just life, just someone that enjoys life.
Of course, and I like to make people smile, and that's the type of person I am. I like to see you smile, crack if I'm cracking a joke, smile. Because Marcia was like, "Oh, Dre, we love you." You know, at the premiere, like everybody wanted you to stay on the show, and you made us all laugh and cracking jokes on set, and that's the type of person I am.
Yeah,
I like to just make people smile, and
yeah,
like. To go back to your question about the long distance thing and like what I learned about it, I probably would say like learning to maybe like express my feelings a little more or emotions and stuff like that. Because she was just like, oh, you have no emotion, not saying have your feelings. And I guess to be more in tune with that when it comes to dating. Because like I said, I'm very laid back.
Yeah.
I'm go with the flow, chill. Like, and if she, if we're not vibing this and that, then it's and lose touch, I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like I'm really like chill when it comes to dating. I'm not like, this is the one I need to find. Like I need
okay. All right, let me ask you this, Dre. I'm just getting all in your business.
It's all right. This is safe space.
Do you, in your own words, do you think that you've ever truly been like in love? Because usually when guys are, I had my son was here. He probably won't see this. You guys don't send this to my son. If you were like, when my son was here and he went through a breakup and he was really upset. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is usually it's easy to be like, okay, it's cool. We kind of lost touch until you've been hit by the thunderbolt. And then it's like, oh.
Right. Okay, so to be honest with you, so I've never really been in love. I've never like experienced that or been in love. Like I may have told a few girls.
Right.
Maybe said I'm not of them, but I don't know how genuine it was,
Right.
And, when the girl and I was dating, we stopped talking. It was kind of like a shock too, because like I was kind of down a little bit because this was right in the midst of stay at home stuff, all this stuff in 2020.
Yeah.
So imagine going from talking to somebody every day to not.
Yeah.
You want to like talk to me or text me back. I try to call her. She not even answer. She know I'm calling, but she ain't answering.
Yeah.
She don't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
So I was kind of in my feelings a little bit like that, but I wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Because I was trying to, work at it, like, trying to plead my case, like, hey, I realize now, let me know what I have to do to like, so we can like move forward, what I got to do, trying to fix it.
Yeah.
But then like, after a while, I was just like, you know what? And, and I saw her like on the IG and with some duck looking cat. I was just like, that's your boy. I was like, oh. I was like, yo. And so I was just like, I just kept it moving.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I asked it. It sounds like even with her, it probably hurt because of the timing, but it probably wasn't the one that you were supposed to be with, because she probably was looking for something more, somebody that was ready to make her a bigger priority.
Yeah, and you know what, Crystal, you're right, because she told me before, I remember in the text, she's like, I checked out. So she totally like checked out, like in her mind, like, you know what I'm saying, and like, and telling me things, and this is my first time like in that a real like relationship. So it's like
Mhm.
I'm still learning how to what do you want me to do, like how to express myself, this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up,
Right.
girl? Like, you
Yeah.
know. So I guess it was just like the space and time and during that time. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
And like I said, I was down a little bit, but just
But you bounce back. You
of
bounce back.
course, like once I meet boom boom on the joint, oh snap, like instant, girl. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good.
How do you meet more women? And I'm always interested because I think I was talking to Natasha early, like I said last week, and she said that she doesn't really meet guys. Like she doesn't really get a
Yeah.
chance to get out and actually meet people face to face. And that's not something that people do as much anymore.
Mm-hmm,
So do
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
meet more people in person, or do you meet more women that you would go out with online or on social dating apps or that kind of thing prior to Ready to Love?
Well, you're absolutely right about like meeting people like in the physical, because
Mhm.
not a lot of people do that anymore, unless it just depends where you're at, I guess. Like if you're at some kind of social event, a bar, somewhere out,
Mhm. Mhm.
But in these past couple years, I've been online, like
Yeah.
swiping my life away,
Mhm.
swipey, no swipey. So
Yeah.
I've been swiping, and the girl that I was in the previous relationship with, we actually met on a dating site,
Gotcha.
and that's how we came to be. But probably about 85%, 85% of the girls that I've met,
Mhm.
and prior to doing, the show, have been strictly online
Yeah.
that I've gone out with or met. And I feel like that's just the thing now because everybody's just in their phones and
Yeah.
you
Not
know what I
present. A
mean?
lot of us are not present, self included. Sometimes I'll be out and I'll be like, why am I on my
Mhm.
phone? I'm someplace I should be enjoying the moment.
Exactly.
I got to ask you this question, and this is uncomfortable, but I want to be honest, and I think it's a good conversation. I don't think that you're like sensitive about it because you brought it up on the show. But I wonder because when you mentioned the fact that you being shorter, a lot of times girls, you were like, oh, so that's something that sometimes bothers me. And I was watching, I was like, I wonder, as a woman, we're so used to being judged for our external, right? And it feels
Mhm.
like you guys don't get the same, it's not as harsh on men as it is on women. It feels that way. But I wondered, I was like, I want to ask you, do you feel like, what is the response when you hear women? Because obviously, Marcia said, well, I don't really like to date short guys. But then Z, that we just had on, was like, I've dated shorter guys. I don't care about height. So, in your experience, what has been the response from most women, and is that something that honestly bothers you, or have you kind of gotten to where you just know that this is who I am and I'm gonna be cool?
Well, for the record, Crystal, Z had on like 6-inch heels. Now, let's just be clear. All the women had heels on the show. Let's be
Uh-huh.
clear.
Yeah.
And Marcia, including Marcia,
Uh-huh.
I'm taller than her, even with the heels. And when she takes them off, I feel
Yeah.
like I'm average height. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? About 5'9", 5'8", 5'9", maybe 5'10" on a weekend on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problem. Like that's never been an issue for me.
Okay.
It's never been an issue. Like I have no problem like getting women, but I feel like in light of the of the show, they have to like bring some kind of issue to light to make it a
Mm-hmm.
bigger topic than it is. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Because that's never been a problem with me.
Gotcha.
Never been a problem when it comes to talking to women, dating, going out. Never been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they seem like they blew it up more,
Yeah.
make it something for the show.
For the show. Z said that she doesn't have a problem with height. That's not one of her like characteristics she looks for. But she did say that when she wears heels, when she's dated guys that were shorter, they would be like, well, are you going to wear heels because you're going to make me look short or whatever? So if you're dating a woman that may be taller once she puts on heels or whatever, does it bother you if she has on heels?
Nah, I mean, because I'm like, okay, she's like a supermodel or whatever. She got the heels. I'm like, dang, girl, that's hot. That's sexy. Like, it's all the same when you're laying down. You know what I'm saying? When you laying down, we all the same.
Vertical. When,
Yep.
It's all this the
It's
vertical.
all the same when we laying in the bed. So I mean, I feel like that's like pretty like, you know, it's attractive too. Like, you know,
Yeah, that's
you
what
got
I
the
thought.
heels
I know
on.
a lot of guys that are shorter actually are attracted to taller women.
And I don't want, when I say that, I'm not saying like, oh, she's like an Amazon woman. Maybe she's
Right.
like, she with the heels on now, she has maybe an extra inch or two over me with the
Yeah,
heels on now.
yeah, yeah,
Or she has the heels on and we're like almost eye to eye. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Stuff like that. I think that's not an
yeah.
issue. Don't be like Amazonian towering over me.
She's 6'2", and you're just
Yeah.
like,
Don't be like 6'2" and then you put the heels on. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. That's funny. Well, I appreciate you being open to answer that. I have a friend that's he's he's probably like 5'4", and he was like,
That's
I don't
crazy. That's wild. See, me and
you
my brothers
can't,
were all taller than our parents. What happened?
you can't say that's wild. That's his height.
I know, but I'm saying like that's in that sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm nowhere near that. Like I said, me and my brothers were all taller than our parents.
Yeah.
You know what
Okay.
I'm
Okay. So
saying?
your parents are okay. Okay.
Yeah. My dad's like 5'5", my mom's like 5'1", or something like that. You know what I mean? We're all taller than our parents. We're like 5'9", 5'10",
Yeah.
11.
Oh,
You know what
wow.
I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just like, look, I'm average height. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm average height. It's just like all these girls had heels on. So it's like
They do. They usually do, especially coming to Ready to Love. They're gonna have heels on and a very sexy dress. That is the
Mhm.
that is the package. The start.
Uniforms.
Yes.
Package.
Ready to Love starter package is a
Yep.
very sexy dress that shows your cookies and cakes.
Yeah.
And for the guys, I think you're right. It's going to be a blazer, no socks, and a loafer.
Some
Which is
loafers.
like
Yep.
the uncle. It's like the uncle pack. It's the
What is it?
it's the uncle. No, but so moving forward from this, Dre, what did you learn anything about yourself in that short period of time, or even just watching yourself back and watching the interactions, or maybe even of some of the other cast? Is there any lesson that you're taking from this experience thus far?
I mean, now that you say that, I'm trying to think. Not really that I think of. I mean, like I said, I was being myself, and I'll just continue to be myself. But I feel like if it's like maybe a sense of urgency, I guess,
Yeah.
on on with the show, because when we're in there, it's like I said, speed dating on crack, like boom boom times 10. So you're boom boom boom. Maybe in that sense of urgency.
Okay.
But I feel like if I went to like a speed dating event, or like how they do, like, I guess I don't even know if they do that. I've seen it on movies and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're sitting around, you meet the girls, you got like 5 minutes talking. Boom, next girl, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
I feel like I would probably connect and vibe with some people, maybe get a couple numbers, connections in that sense.
Yeah.
If it wasn't in the, two people gotta go home,
Yeah.
you gotta send you home method. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I agree.
So I feel like if it wasn't like a send you home type thing, I feel like I probably would have got to know the girls more, and like they would have got to know me. And
I agree. I think, and you can tell me if you agree with this, Dre. I think that the biggest plus you can have as a man, and this is just me speaking as a woman, I think the biggest plus a man can have is to have the ability to make women laugh. Because I have seen some guys that a female was not attracted to at all, but he can make her laugh. And when you make people laugh, first of all, it makes them happy and they let down their guard.
They let their guard down. They feel comfortable. Yeah. You're exactly right. I mean, like I said before, I love to make people smile. I love, laugh. And, if it's something you just chill, like that's the first thing I feel like, if I can make her laugh, or just basically have a conversation.
Right.
So when I was on the show, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. I'm not trying to, tell me about the guys. Or do you trying to have kids? Are you trying to do this? What you trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you see yourself getting married 5, would you see something 5 years? Nah, I'm just, hey, yo, it's crazy. The weather was wild. It was raining hard. I was stepping in the big ass puddle. My whole got my old left foot wet. I got bare feet on right now. I'm slopping around, just talking like that. And if
Yeah.
she's laughing or engaging, then I feel like, okay, now she kind of like let her guard down, and we can still have a
We can get to
conversation.
that other stuff. We can get to other stuff later. But I do you think that, have you met women that are, a lot of time women are more serious than men, right? Just overall. So do you think that sometimes, have you met women that are very focused on, are we a match or not, more so than just having fun?
Yeah, I would say I met them online and it was short-lived
Yeah.
because it didn't last long. Like all the time, like I would get hit up if I matched with somebody online, and the first thing the girl asked me, "So what are you here for?
Yeah.
What brings you here? What are you looking for?"
Right.
And I'm just like, yo, like I just asked like how you doing? Like how's your day, your weekend was? And then what brings you here? What are you looking? And so when I say like, look, I'm just looking to possibly just connect with somebody, vibe with somebody, and just if we connect, just move forward from there.
Yeah.
What about you? Well, I know what my intentions are. I'm dating with intention, with a purpose. I'm here to meet my one, my match, my one, my forever. And I'm just like, okay.
That's not why I'm here. That's
Yeah,
not why.
I'm dating with intention.
Yeah.
Let me know what you want up front. No games. And I'm just like, whoa, slow it down there. So yeah, I've met girls like that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, you need to chill.
Yeah. That is, Goddess says women are asking you that so that you don't waste their time. I think it just depends on where people are in their life. So
Exactly. Because all the time girls be like, oh, I'm not here to play games. Like, what kind of games? I mean, we all here for the same reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to play no games with you. I'm trying to get to know you.
yeah.
But like, I guess girls want it, like you said, like
Some.
some girls.
It depends on the woman and what she wants in life. I also think that when men are, I will say that men can be the same way. When you get a man who is 40 plus and he is single and he is he doesn't have anybody cooking for him, nobody, to snuggle up with at night, they get very much like, I'm trying to get married. Like men
Yeah.
get the same way. It just depends on where that person is in their life and what is important to them at that point. So
Right. And I feel like some of that stuff is like the norm, like what they want, it's the norm. But like if you're happy and you don't need all that. If you're happy, then like just do you. And like there's people, older than me getting married. You know what I'm saying? Like if that you find love then that's amazing. Then
yeah.
you go do that. You know what I'm saying? So until then, just be, you. Like like I said, I'm happy. I'm chill. Like, like
Yeah.
and if I meet somebody along the journey, cool. Then we just all right, we'll see what's happening there.
Yeah.
And if we
Well,
can
I want to ask you, I got to ask you about your music, because I think that, people that watch the show like to hear more about what you guys are doing and the fact that you are on the station there in Miami and also an artist. Can you tell us what drives you? Because the music industry is it can be, it can be very disingenuous, I will say, from my experience. And a lot of times even frustrating, because sometimes the most talented people are not the people that have like the big opportunities, right? So what drives you? Because obviously you've been doing this for a while. So what drives you to continue to make music? I think you're in a group.
Yeah, I'm in a group. Yeah. So I've been doing a solo thing for years.
Okay.
And I guess just to give you the quick version, been doing a solo thing for years. My producer and I have been making music for about 10 years.
Okay.
And my other artist friend, we all been working together. I met him like a year or two after I met my producer. He worked with him as well. So me and my other artist friend, we just came together February of 21 and formed a group and a hip hop duo. And the name of the duo is called Backgammon. Maybe I'll put it in the chat. I don't know if they can see it.
Yeah, put it in the chat there.
We follow at Backgammon, BCKGMN. And
Well,
that's on everything. That's on, like, if you go on Spotify, if you go on Apple Music, Instagram, at Backgammon. So basically that word, basically it's an acronym.
right.
So it means be confident, keep grinding, make noise.
I was wondering that because I was like, I know there's a backgammon game, but
Yeah. So the reason, like, the game, because the game has black and white pieces, because the other member in my group, he's white.
gotcha.
So
Okay.
that's how it's like play on that.
Okay.
And we just been in the studio creating, and just what keeps us, like, I guess, what was your question back to, like, what keeps,
Like, yeah, what drives you? What's
the drive? Just working together, creating, just the overall vibe, because we all work together, but in the end they're all like family, like my brothers, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have a big team. It's like 4 of us.
okay.
And just the whole, like, getting in the studio and creating and working together, that is really the drive, and seeing the reaction from people that feel the music. And just a real quick, we released our album in March of 22.
Okay.
And the album's called Boarding Pass, and it debuted at number 6 on the iTunes top 200 hip hop charts.
Nice. Okay.
Number 42 overall in all genres.
Okay.
So for that was like a huge, like,
That's huge. Yeah.
win for us, because we're 100% independent, and like that shows, like, okay, we people that rock with us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was like, that's also part of, like, the drive. And like now we have over like 60 records that are ready, that we have ready to go, like waiting, that we're gonna start releasing some new music soon, that we're excited about. So
That's what's up. What is the content like? I know people don't like to be boxed into genres, which you said hip hop, but then also that it charted across genres. What is the content like? What message do you want to get across with your music?
I mean, the mess is basically like, if you enjoy hip hop, good music, there's positivity, there's motivation in it, but it's still hip hop music. So like all, artists, like, some of my favorite artists like Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, Lupe, Fiasco, The Roots, Mos Def, Talib Kweli.
So you're lyrical.
And stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how the music is, but then also, like, we'll add, our own style to it with some trap beats or just any kind of 808s, but it's what we create, like, it's our style. And then there's kind of a genre too for it. It's called alternative rap.
Okay.
And when I say that, it's not like alternative, like on a guitar.
Yeah.
But that's the genre of it. Like artists like J. Cole, the Kendricks, Joey Badass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, like the Pro Era, Brockhampton, stuff like that. That's kind of like the vibe of music that we do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
How did you get started doing music?
Oh, Crystal, let me see. Let me take you back real quick. Y'all ready for story time, class? Y'all ready for story time? Okay, so before I moved here to Florida, I lived in Italy for 4 years. My dad my dad was in the service.
Okay.
He was in the Air Force for 26 years. So we traveled a lot. Like, we go somewhere 2 to 5 years, we move. I lived all over, from in the States, overseas. I lived in Japan when I was like 2 years old till I was like 6.
Oh, okay. So you have a lot of different influences.
Yeah, back to the States.
Yeah.
So I'm originally from LA, from Cali, but just live like all over.
Okay.
So basically, moved to Italy. I was in Italy, and I remember I was like a freshman going to school. And I remember the skater kid, he was a skater, one of the skater kids. And I remember his name. His name was Noel Regis. And we were in Spanish class, and he was like, yo, and he listened to hip hop. We all did. And he's like, yo, Dre, check this out. Check this, what I wrote, this rhyme. And I was like, you wrote that? He's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was reading. I was like, that's dope. And And then I thought to myself, I'm like, man, if he can do that, I know I can do that as well.
Yeah.
I can do that better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So after that, I got a notebook and I just started writing and just started writing rhymes from then. And then like my pops thought I was doing homework, you know, and he thought I was doing homework for a long time. And then all the kids was like, yo, Mr. Moreland, you know, because my dad was also a coach because we playing ball. He's like, yo, Coach Moreland, you know, Dre does music. He's a rapper. So like all the kids, everybody knew, but he didn't know. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, Dre, he's a rapper, this and that. So basically, from living in Italy is when I really got inspired. And like I used to read by the Source magazines. And I used to get those and like music that my older brother would give me and stuff, just listening to music. And like that's how I really like started getting into music when I lived there. Like all the kids call me a hip hop junkie. So I used to make mixtapes of like raps and stuff that I would do and bring them to school. So that's how I really like started.
Gotcha.
And then when I moved here, you know, through like trial and error, like with meeting people and studios and stuff, and then like when I met my producer, like we hit it off and just been making music ever since. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
That's the small version. That's the
no, it is a small, but it explains. I'm glad you had patience and you know stayed on with me so we could get to that because it explains your personality a lot more because you have been exposed to a lot more than some people have that may not have been exposed to cultures outside of the United States. So it kind of gives you a different perspective in the way you approach life.
Exactly. And I'm glad I got to experience that, like going to Italy.
Yeah.
And I've been all through Europe. Been to Paris for spring break, Switzerland, Brussels, all through Germany. I'm glad I got to experience that.
Yeah.
Growing up. And then also had the chance, I went to Japan a couple years ago for my music for on tour. So I was out there performing. I was in Japan for like 2.5 weeks. It was amazing. So that was definitely like a great experience in itself. So I'm just glad. I feel like it just makes me a more well-rounded person when it comes to like talking to people.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't necessarily have to be where you're from. It's just like, you know, just more well-rounded a little bit.
That definitely, I agree. I think that's a blessing to have had the opportunity to do that early on. But yeah, I think it definitely gives, you guys are crazy. It gives people a different perspective than somebody that is, you know, time in our life, where we've been, what we've been exposed to, all that stuff kind of contributes to where we are.
Right.
So I'm going to make sure that I get the link. If you can DM me the link to your album, I'll put that in this when this lives on YouTube. So if people want to go and listen to the music, they can do that. Any last minute, where are you at now with dating? Like, what do you want to? Are you looking to meet people? Are you taking a break? Where are we at now as we are just finished this experience? We know that you guys did the reunion. People are going to be talking about what Dre is doing dating for a little while longer until the show.
Right.
You know? So where are you at? What do you want to do? Where are you at when it comes to your dating right now?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got a couple on my line right now, Chris. You know what I'm saying? Just no, to be honest, I mean, I'm just doing me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm still out there. You know, I'm still on the field. I'm still on the court. You know, looking at prospects. You know, having practice, taking practices. You know what I'm saying? Scouting reports. I'm still out there.
Yeah, it's just having fun. That's we're having fun and we're open. We're open.
Exactly. And if I meet somebody cool, then we'll see. You know, I'm still holding tryouts. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we'll get a workout in if they want to. You know, that's what we doing. Still taking applicants.
Gotcha.
Scouting report.
Is there anybody? This is the last question. I know we're late on a Tuesday night. Last question: is there anybody from the show? Any of the guys? We know the girls. You can't really give us any feedback on that. But is there anyone from the show that you're still friends with, or that you're friends with you that really you clicked with from the guys, or did you have a chance to really do that because you were not there?
Yeah, all the guys on the show, great group of guys. Nothing bad or to say about them. No ill will towards none of the guys. Great group of guys. It was crazy meeting like there's another Andre on the show, so like he was cool. Andre's cool. Everybody was cool. Like Blue, and then I met the other cat, Mark Anthony, later on.
Okay,
And
so you met Mark
Lyndon, yeah,
Anthony.
Lyndon was dope. Everybody was cool peeps, and like it's wild because like some of the guys like Lyndon, Blue, we all knew the same people. We all like have mutual friends like with what I do and what because Lyndon runs one of the clubs and
yeah.
Blue,
I wonder if they already know each other because
yeah. And me and Blue, we got mutual friends that I work with, and then like this girl that I've known for years knows him. She like hit me, was like, my friend Blue. And I was like, I've known you about 10 years. Yeah, I didn't know that. So it's like I said, great group of guys. Everybody was really cool, chill, and like nothing like bad to say about it.
No competition there.
Yeah. Everybody's like actually Blue called me the other day. Andre, I was talking to him, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's cool with each other.
That's what's up. Well, we appreciate you being honest and sharing a little bit more with us. Like I said, go ahead and leave me the link to the album in my DM, and I'll make sure that I add it to the intro for this YouTube video. And we wish you much success. You have to come back, and give us reports. If you do something with your music, please feel free to come back so we can talk about it once you guys get ready to release the new music. And then, of course, with the Love Connection, definitely come back. And I would just say, chat with Z. You just never know. I'm sure you guys have run into each other or not. We're just planting seeds. We just like to see
people, connected. Like to make it cohesive.
Yeah, all of that. You never know when it could, or just a good relationship that can teach us something. It's either either it's love or it's a lesson. So you don't ever lose.
Exactly right. You exactly right.
And Ray, you guys make sure that you follow him, and like I said, I'll leave that in the chat.
Yeah, that's my IG right there. So you guys make sure you follow me. Ladies, you can slide up in the DM if you want. You know what I'm saying? But
Dre is open. Well, we appreciate it, and we'll definitely be watching on the reunion. And I definitely know how to reach you if I need you to come back. So if we need to clear up,
let me know.
I will hit you back. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Crystal. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Have a good night.
You too.
All right.
Later, guys. Peace.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. We did back-to-back reality checks. You guys make sure that you're tuning in on Friday at 8. This season is really good. Actually, I'm going to be back on Thursday night because we are recapping Married at First Sight. So make sure you guys are there for that. Allie, you guys are hilarious. But I appreciated Dre being honest. Enjoyed the conversation. Please like the broadcast. You guys, please go back and hit the like button. We have 1 like after an hour and 13 minutes of conversation. He was being honest. It was some information. I definitely think the fact that he's lived outside of the country and just has a more eclectic taste in certain things definitely probably colored the way he interacts and the way people receive him. But I think he's a nice guy, and we'll be interested to see this reunion. All right, I will see you guys on Thursday. Again, make sure that you tuned in to Ready to Love on Friday, and we'll see what happens. All right, I love you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.